Hey everyone, this is Kai from WCC, and today we'll be looking at the finals for WGP 2019 for Premium Standard. And on the left, we've got Lok Ho Kiat from Singapore. He's playing gold Paladins, and on the right, we have Yun Waika playing Dark Irregulars from Japan. So, well, first, as they're setting up, we'll take a look at the decks that they have. We have these on the WCC website. We're going to look at Dark Irregulars first. It's pretty a YOLO deck. It's running more darkness cards than you'd normally expect. So it's kind of different from like Nikki's build, which is less YOLO. But one thing you don't see is you don't see Bobos. And that is going to be a thing. It means this deck is entirely at the mercy of your opponent giving you damage. And let's look at Lok's deck for now. Let's stop this for a sec. So let's look at Lok's deck. Lok's deck is running more like the WCC build that you saw at Worlds pretty much. But there's one big difference. Is he's not running Providential Angel. I think he's subbed out. He added an extra Raven here. So I kind of don't agree with that. I think Providential Angel is super important. If you don't run Providential Angel, your ultimate turns are strong, but they're not as strong as you'd want them. He's running Besok, so basically in the mirror, he's really good. He can randomly GB8 and kind of win. But no, I think Providential Angel is more important than Besok, because the Providential Angel basically means your ultimate turn is just a GG turn. They're just absolutely dead. They can't guard that. But it also makes your ultimate one-shots from 0 to 6 much more consistent, because Providential Angel itself gets big, and then your opponent absolutely cannot guard that much damage. Okay, so I don't agree with Providential Angel being taken out, but both these not running Bobos, not running Providential Angel, these things kind of do come into play kind of in these games. So let's go back to the game and take a look and see what's going on. So speed up the game again. So if you just want to watch the unedited, less speedy version where there's no stoppage, you can just watch the Vanguard channel, the Japanese Vanguard channel. They have this stream up and it's all good. So go watch that. We probably will do the other game as well, because that's also pretty interesting. It is a best of 3 though, so this might go a bit longer than expected, but best of 3s are very interesting. Lots of adaptations and maybe a lot of thought processes going into the game. So looks like, let's see who starts. It's Yun. Yun starting pretty good. And let's stop here for a sec. So Yun starts, he plays a Yellow Bolt, pretty important. He also plays a Killer Tail. So this means that he probably has an Emblem Master in hand, and next turn, if he gets Counterblast, he rides that Emblem Master, gets that nice Killer Tails into the Soul, and then does the Yellow Bolt, and then bam. It's like 5 cards in the Soul, Killer Tail can do another card in the Soul, and it's all good. He's on his way to winning. Alright, so one of the ways to combat Dark Irregulars is that you either don't give him any damage and try to one-shot him with Ultima, or you just go YOLO, especially when going second, right? If you go first, you just Superior right up and just kind of hope you win, right? But if you go second, those are kind of your two options. You either just YOLO, or you go, you just kind of wait, alright? So let's see what Lok does. Plays out a Din Drain, which is good. And then he plays a Besok, and just going to swing under. Right? This is the correct move, because now he plays this Emblem Master, and he feels bad, because he doesn't get the full effect. But it's still fine. What he's going to do next is actually pretty interesting. He attacks with his grade 2. So let's stop there again. So lots of things going on so early in the game. Attacking with your grade 2 means that he's likely just going to give you damage and not care. He rides his grade 3, he's going to give you another damage. That means you have 2 damage to play with as Gold Paladin, and that is a nice sweet spot. 2 damage means you can do a lot of things. You can go Spear X, you can go Platinum Spear X with counter charge. Also means that unless you heal down, you have like ultimate potential, which means that you can do your ultimate one-shots. But what Lok does in the next turn, I kind of don't agree with. Maybe he hasn't played that many Dark Irregular matchups. I think his Gold Paladin mirror is actually better. But he plays a full field, but doesn't commit like any boost, and he attacks with Vanguard first. And here Yun gets a trigger, and that's kind of okay. All right. So let's talk about another thing about Dark Irregulars is the amount of damage you want to give them. Since Yun doesn't run Bobos, it means that 1 damage is okay. That can't turn into 2 damage. 2 damage is also the nice sweet spot for Dark Irregulars, because you just have to think of their combo, right? What is their combo? They go Gasteel, which is 1 CB, and then they go NLK, and that is another CB. So that's 2 CBs where they want to be. If they only have 1 CB, they have to counter charge, and then before they can do NLK, and that also means they need more counter charges to do things like Emblem Master, and well, they actually they get one soul off from Killer Tail as well. But yeah, the Emblem Master, the big play. And then Brufus also needs another CB, so they need more counter charges for that. And the more counter charges you need, it means it's less likely to happen. So one CB is not that likely he'll be able to pop off from there unless he has a Bobo, which Yun definitely does not. But when you start giving him 2 damage and 3 damage, that's when like Dark Irregulars can just do whatever it wants and it can win the game. So let's continue on. Yun just is going to ride up to grade 3. There is no point stalling at all against the Gold Paladin. Just going to attack the face, and then triggers a heal. So that's actually good in a way for Loke if he kind of goes into... If his plan is to go into Ultima, Yun healing here is amazing, because that means he can attack with his Spear X, get triple drives, and just pass the turn, and just keep Yun at 1 damage. But you're going to see that Loke's turn here is actually just really, really good. He's going to ride down into... He's going to do double Spear X, right? He rides down with Ravenhead Heads, and Yun's like going, what the hell's going on? You can actually do that. And here, it's actually the reverse double Spear X, because he rides up and rides down. And then he's going to go into... He just play out all his wonders here. He has a Platina. He can do a Platina here. And then he's got a Maligan. Good, right? Now it's a Spear X turn. He's got a Platina Spear X. Feels good. He can kind of farm his hand a bit. And then here's the thing. He actually doesn't need to have a Platina Spear X in a way, because more chance of healing down, which is kind of not what you want to do. But here, if he just does the Spear X into the Brufus, that is kind of fine. That's dealing 1 damage, and then you kind of safe the next turn, and then next turn, if you can counter charge, you go to Brenius, you can Ultima, which is pretty good. But here is something I don't disagree. I disagree. So here, giving him that 1 damage early, of course it's a trigger. Now he attacks with his Vanguard. He gets a trigger, okay, but he's just giving him damage, which is not cool. There's a crit as well, so he puts it on Vanguard. It's 3 damage. 3 damage. 3 damage. Okay, 3 damage is really good for Yun. All right, it confirms his combo. It at least gives him a Brufus, and then needs 1 counter charge to do something like an Emblem Master, which kind of just confirms whatever he needs to do. And he got another trigger, so this turn is basically ended, but he can still hit with something. But Yun's just gonna take it. His hand is perfect, and he's just... This is where Dark Irregulars just does whatever it wants, and then goes into Castile, does whatever it wants, and just wins the game. So I think from here we can just kind of speed it up a lot, because Dark Irregulars is just gonna like farm a lot of power counters. How fast can we speed this up? So yeah, so he's just gonna do the DI things. And one thing is, like, although Loke is very low damage, Yun runs hard leg, so that kind of makes his kill potential that much higher. If he doesn't run hard leg, Loke might survive at 1. You might need more damage to in order to die, but because of hard leg, it's gonna tear apart your hand. You can't guard anything, and it just feels super bad. Similar to how some Dark Irregulars ran Hope and Dump, same idea. But yeah, so this is still Yun's turn, and he just he's just doing the full combo. Those power counters are gonna go super high, and feels bad. Feels bad if you're on the Gold Paladin side and just eating all this damage. Yeah, Castile, full combo. I think he's got the Murph, so it's just, it's the full combo. The Brufus gets a crit. You can't do the Dismal Deny thing because your field is just too much stuff. And you've got a back row, so bad luck. And those triggers are amazing. And that's pretty much all she wrote. It's pretty much all she wrote for this game. This game's done. So next game we have Loke going first. It's pretty good. It means he can just high roll and win the game. It's kind of how the game goes. One thing, if he doesn't high roll though, then that's just bad luck. But because he goes first, he does get an extra turn to play around. So when you go first against Dark Irregulars, it means you can stay at grade 2 for 1 turn. Because you don't want to just ride up and give your opponent a first stride. Because by doing that, they just kind of win the game. And Loke is going to do something that I kind of disagree with, but I do kind of understand where he's trying, like his game plan is. It's gonna do like a very small amount of attacks to try and push small amounts of damage, and do a big play on one turn and try to devastate his opponent's hand. And he was unable to superior ride this game, so that's kind of bad. But here he can at least, he's just gonna stay, which is correct. He's gonna one lane and try and get damage from his opponent, which is also correct. So speed it up a bit. So takes the damage, gets a heal on Yun's side. So a bit unfortunate for Loke, because if he didn't get the heal, it's easier to just kind of destroy his opponent like that. There's a lot of advantages going first in this matchup, so especially as Gold Paladin, even if you don't get the superior ride, so that's fine too. Here Yun does something that is kind of a bit too aggressive, I think. He gives his opponent 2 damage. Again, that is the sweet spot for Gold Paladin. And now Luke can do anything he wants. He's actually gonna push really hard. The Brennius goes into the Bowmans, but I think he does a misplay here where he tries to call a Gareth, but I think he miscounts. So that's kind of unfortunate. But it doesn't matter. If he can win here, it doesn't just just wins the game, right? So speed it up a bit for his entire turn. He does his Wonder Rezzle. Does another Wonder Rezzle, I think. Yep, good. Goes into Platna. Now, Platna, Spear X. Pretty good combo. And Malagant. Yep, so here we go. Spear X. So this is a 3XL Spear X turn. That's a lot of attacks. And then a lot of hand filtering as well. So it's pretty devastating as a Dark Irregular player. So he takes the damage, no trigger. Takes another damage, no trigger. Now he has to force to use a null. And then he gets then Luke gets crit, heal, and nothing. But he gets basically a lot more attacks now, and Yun has to guard everything. And that means his hand is going to become pretty crap. Takes another damage, no trigger. So now he's really forced to guard with a lot of high guard cards in his hand, or multiple cards in his hand. Here he throws a 5. That's a piece. That's a piece. G guards. Okay. Yep. And then he throws 2 15Ks. Okay. So it's back to Yun's turn, and now Yun is kind of in a pickle here. Is he needs to get enough soul. But here's the funny thing: is I think in this turn he totally screws up. I think he reaches around 12 soul, but then he technically can get NLK, but I don't know why. I think his brain bricks. But let's just go through the turn. I'll stop where I think it bricks. Okay, so he's gonna call a crit trigger here. He asks the judge first, calls the crit trigger. He does a cat, okay, and then he uses the Jaeger, discards a crit. And then he calls the Jaeger, and then calls over the Jaeger. And then, okay, so here's the thing. He's going to Emblem Master. Let me slow it down a bit. So, he's Emblem Mastering, and gets the Jaeger back. And that's a 1. But that's not enough to get to NLK. Okay, and then he's going to use that 1, goes into Soul to counterblast and draw a card, and really doesn't achieve anything. So, remember, he discarded 2 crits the previous turn. And then he discarded a crit to get a Jaeger back into his hand. To get the Jaeger back into his hand. So there's 3 crits in the drop zone. So if that Emblem Master comes out and targets that crit, he will reach the required amount of soul. And then he should be able to do stuff. He should at least have a turn now. But now he actually just doesn't have any turn. And then since he played all his cards down, a bit late. And then he couldn't really soul charge much at all. He just has no turn at all. It's just like, this is a 13k attack, and this is what, like a 624k, and this is basically just nothing. You can no guard the Vanguard, and then take whatever, and then GG. This is like Ultima, and you win, right? So I think Yun kind of like he did a big misplay somewhere, and I think it was where he put the Jaeger back into Soul when he could have put the crit, and then from there he kind of like went, oh GG, I've lost, right? So that's pretty much that game in a nutshell. But when we'll speed it up and we'll go to the third game. So third game, Yun gets to start, and that means there is technically one turn less for Loke to do what he did. Because let's talk about the previous game compared to this current game where he's going second. Is he got an extra, although he couldn't superior ride, he had an extra turn where he could stay at grade 2 and put on pressure. Now, technically in this current game, he's going second, so he cannot superior ride. If he superior rides, he automatically gives first stride to his opponent. But if he plays normally like he did before, he doesn't have that extra turn to work with. So he basically has 2 turns of attacking before he goes into his stride turn. And ideally, that's not enough to actually do anything to his opponent. So let's continue. Let's continue this game. They're just shuffling up now. And this time, Yun does the same thing as before. He plays a Jaeger and he plays a Killatel. So he's kind of showing that he probably has an Emblem Master in his hand. What does Loke do this time though? Because his previous game worked out pretty well. He did the mini attacks and then went into a big attack. He's giving him damage this time, which I think is wrong. I think it's wrong. But does he actually have the Emblem Master? He actually does. So now this entire game is going pretty swimmingly for Yun. He's going to copy the Killatel and then he's on his way to good times. But this time he actually only has 2, so it's actually not that great. But we'll see. So he goes into Soul, plays over, puts the Killatel in, and now he's kind of set up. Now, Loke here is... I disagree with this, because he's just doing very weak attack. He's not playing anything out on the sides, so he cannot get damage denied. But in this situation, it kind of doesn't matter, because with the Killatel set up, he puts that in, counter charges. He can use Brufus now and basically just set up his field, and I think the game's pretty much done, right? It's pretty hard to kill from 2. Now he's healed and gone back to 1. The game is pretty much done. He doesn't have 2 CB to work with for Gold Paladin as well, so this is just going to be a super weak turn. The best he could do is like heal down to 0 and kind of hope he doesn't die. But he does... He's calling Bobo and Dindrain. Dindrain can draw at least 1. And, what is it? He's going to call a full field and then attack. Those crits are going to go to Soul. But, okay, there is no way Yun is going to die from these attacks. Unless Loke just randomly gets triple crit and Yun takes it, right? There is actually no way he's going to die. So he's going to go to somewhere like 4 and 5 damage. And then with 5 damage, Dark Irregulars can just kind of just do whatever it wants and wins. One thing I also want to add is that he's giving you damage. He's not denying you damage. So you can technically play the game slower and then try to one-shot him with an ultimate again. You develop a lot of Excel circles, farm those Excel circles, and then just go from the kill from there. But there's no way you win by just giving him damage here. You've got to slow it down and then just try and win through another method. Okay, so he's taking the first damage. Now he's just going to... he gets 1 crit. He gets 2 crits, not 3 crits. So, okay, so this is kind of better in that he split the crit. Maybe it's even better if you just put it all in 1. I don't know, but he's kind of split the crit. So Yun's going to 4, and then he has to take he has to guard the last one. All right, so that's kind of good, because that also means that Loke can heal on like 5 damage instead of 6. And then he kind of have to expend a bit of guard for this. But thing is, Yun triggered that heal last turn, so he has a pretty easy G guard here. That will also, well, he's just going rack to him this time, and then doesn't care, discards the protect. So yeah, so unfortunately now, it's just all good times for Yun. He can kind of just do whatever he wants. He can stride, go to Castile. He's got 4 damage to play with. That means he can do whatever he wants. Luke has 10 cards in his hand, but because things have been going so swimmingly for Yun, he could just get hard leg pretty easily and then just kind of sweep the game in. He even just plays cards first before he gets Soul Charge, because it's just everything's just going to be easy for him. We can just kind of speed the game up here. And I think there's not much to say. When Dark Irregulars gets this so easily, there's just not much you can do. He even goes for triple Jaeger. He's pretty much gets hard like he's got the cat to counter charge. And then he's definitely reached his soul count. And we can probably just watch the power counters go up again, right? They've got the special counter there that doesn't let you guard. Or you have to guard with 3 cards. He's got the hard leg off. He's playing stuff down. And yeah, so he's going to be able to get the crit pretty easily. Again, he can't use the dismal play. And yeah, good times. Dark Irregular wins Worlds. Well, WGP 2019, which is kind of like a Worlds. So, congrats. So here, yeah, he has to guard the crit Vanguards, but again, it doesn't matter. He actually, okay, so interesting enough, the Yun didn't get the Murphy into the soul, but he triggers it here. So that's like alright, I guess. It's pretty lucky for him, but even without the Murphy, he'll be able to do NLK, and he can do like NLK 2 more times. So that's kind of same amount of attacks, and you have to, like, the amount of power that NLK gets, you have to null, but then you have to guard with 3 cards, so the null becomes really, really tough and really, really bad. So kind of same idea. If he gets the Murphy, he gets the Murphy, but if he doesn't, then he still has NLK options. And okay, so calls the assassin behind, and then bam. Okay, so here he's basically just praying to get a heal. He's basically praying to get a heal. That's the only way that Lurk wins. I think he needs 2 heals. He tries to dig for a null here with a G-Guard, but doesn't get it, and that's just bad luck. Actually, Yun only has like 1 face up, so you probably should have been a bit more careful about the CB there. But yeah, congratulations on Yun winning with Dark Irregulars. Congratulations for Lurk as well from Singapore, coming second. Really, really awesome game. Go check out the games on the Booster and main site. They're really interesting, at least for Premium Standard. For Standard as well, it's really, really cool too. You can watch all the non-fishers fight it out. But maybe we'll do something about the Gold Paladin mirror in the top 4, which is also pretty interesting. I like talking about mirrors. There's a lot to talk about for Gold Paladin mirrors in Premium Standard. So yeah, maybe we'll make that video next. So hope you guys like that. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want to say. If any of the contestants or the players also want to say anything about the thoughts and thought process, you can contact me or talk about it in the comments too. So see you later. Bye.